Alright, y'all, I'm locking in. I know I said it last video, but thank you guys once again for 10K. Alright, I really appreciate all y'all. I love and I'm grateful for everyone that watches and clicks on these videos frequently. Since January, I've listened to probably over 120 something albums, ranging from genre to genre. Alright, you guys put me on so much shit, so I cannot thank y'all enough. Keep leaving your recommendations. Alright, we're gonna hop into the new year, alright, with a bunch of new shit. I'm looking forward to branching out, maybe doing some new things with y'all. This list is one album per artist, alright, so I just want to make that clear. So yeah, thank you for watching, and let's hop right in. First things first, before we hop into the albums, I just want to mention my favorite artist from this year. Alright, with two guys, Boards of Canada. If it wasn't for my fake rule of having only one album per artist, then these guys would have probably like 3 albums on this list. So I just want to, thank you guys for putting me on them, and let's hop into the list. I actually do have one honorable mention, so here it is. There you go. Coming in at 25, I got Beach House's Bloom. Before this album, I only heard, bits and pieces of Beach House and what they sounded like, but this really put me inside their world. I mean, this was just incredible. I was levitating from start to finish. I do like this more than Depression Cherry, and I know I still have to get to some more of their work, and I really will. My 3 favorites from this album, because I don't know, I might just list 3 from each so I don't go on tangents, but they're Myth, On the Sea, and The Hours. Coming in at 24, I got Fiona Apple with When the Pond. I already enjoyed this way more than I did when I did my ranking video, because I re-listened to it after and I'm like, damn, like this album just flows song by song so well with each other. Her songwriting is crazy. I love the production front to back. I love how her vocals kind of complement a lot of the instrumentation on here. Favorite tracks on here are A Mistake, Paper Bag, and probably On the Bound. I've actually been listening to On the Bound a lot lately, especially that little mid-section piece right there with the guitar kind of going up and down. I fuck with that part. That's my favorite part of the album. At 23, I got King Crimson with In the Court of the Crimson King. This was a big one for me. I think that this is my most viewed video. A lot of pretentious fans of this album, but you know what? It's all good. And actually, not just this album, this artist in general, like, goddamn. Yeah, I definitely didn't know anything about prog rock when I did this, so when I first listened to this, man, I was just like, what the fuck is happening? From the first song to I Talk to the Wind. By the way, I just want to mention I Talk to the Wind is crazy. Alright, that like almost made my end of the year song list. I actually do get a lot of nostalgia when I return to this album because I was so dumb at the time, and just talking about it then and me listening to it now, I mean, I kind of get it. I still fucking hate the improv though. But other than that, I don't have a negative thing to say about this. Epitaph is incredible. Title track is amazing, and 21st Century Schizoid Man is wild. It's a wild ride. Coming in at 22, I got Jimi Hendrix with Electric Ladyland. Kind of the opposite of the Fiona Apple album, where I kind of re-listened to this after I did the ranking, and I was just like, maybe I don't like this as much as I thought I did. And I mean, I still love it. It's on the list for a reason. My 2 favorite songs on here are probably the 2 longest ones, Voodoo Child and 1983. And I just love the way this album closes out with All Along the Watchtower and Voodoo Child. I think the Voodoo Child is one of the best outros I might have ever heard. Coming in at 21, I got Why As Well with Titanic Rising. Probably the most recent album that came out on this list. Actually, no, I'm wrong about that. But yeah, this is one of the reviews that I did outside. Thank God I did. I would say it's a little bit front-loaded, but other than that, I don't have anything bad to say about it. The pace of it is insane. I love the little ambient song halfway in. My personal advice to you, is to just maybe invest in a good pair of headphones and listen to movies. That's all I'm saying. Like that arpeggio that shit hits different. That shit. Coming in at 20, I got The Flaming Lips with Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. This album just makes me incredibly happy. I don't know why. I don't think I'm supposed to be really happy to this, but it brightens my mood. I definitely do focus on this album's highlights and most popular songs, to be honest, like Flight Test, Do You Realize, the title track, Part 1. My personal favorite though, gotta be One More Robot. That is such a chill vibe on that one. At 19, I got Death Consciousness by Have a Nice Life. Another one of my videos that did really good. I'm still baffled that they made this on a $1,000 budget or something like that. I don't know, that's what I heard. There's only really bits and pieces of this album that I actually return to. The Worm Connecticut song is gut-wrenching. I love the drums on Hunter, and just the drums on here in general. I think they're incredibly catchy. The vocals on I Don't Love are just downright uncomfortable, and Earth Mover as a whole is like one, it's Like, I can't listen to it from start to finish. It's too much. It's too much for me. It's honestly. Coming in at 18, I got Dean Blunt's Black Metal. My only complaint with this album is that, the best songs on here are so short. I mean, Hush should be longer. Hush should be longer. Like, that's it. The fact that he put one verse on that and was like, nah, no more. It pains me. 100 is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. I feel so swagged the fuck out whenever I listen to this. That 13-minute song does confuse me. So does Aex. Just when I think that, the second half of this album isn't as strong as the first half, that last song coming in with the saxophone, man, listen to Grade, y'all. Come on. Similar to Jimi Hendrix, when I listened to this after my ranking and doing this video, I was like, huh. I kind of look like a fraud putting it at that number 2 spot on that video. But don't get me wrong, like Fake Plastic Trees, Bulletproof I Was, that one part on Nice Dream, you know what I'm talking about? That one part. I don't know, it's just like the average good song in here has nothing on the best songs on here. That's why I can't really put it too high on here. But it is still one of my favorite Radiohead albums, to be honest. Not top 3, but come on. The outro is really good though. I gotta say, this album ends in a really good place. Not mentally. At number 16, I got Big Thief with a Dragon, New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You. Is that it? I think that's it. I always fuck it up. Talk about a fucking grower. I think someone might have commented that this album grows on you, and damn. First listen, like, this is not a first listen, love every song kind of album. It isn't. It's when you go back, because it's so long. It's an hour and 20 minutes. And I gotta say, all right, if you took this album and you cut it down to the length of like an average album, and like you have it's like just the best songs, it's a 10 out of 10. This album is perfect if you do that. Because I mean, I know there's probably like 5 or 6 songs that I don't really like. Simulation Storm, Wake Me Up to Drive, Love Love Love, Blurred View, Certainly, the title track. Like, there's so many fucking good songs on here. And honestly, I just can't wait for it to be summer again, because this isn't really a winter vibe for me. This is like a summer. Put your AirPods in, walk into the ocean, have no fear. That's the kind of timing I'm on with this album. This is insane. At number 15, I got The Velvet Underground and Nico's self-titled album. Talk about one that also grew on me. This thing is just so calming to listen to, but some of the subject matter is really kind of fucked up. But I mean, you gotta do a deep dive on this album to understand that. I mean, it's track for track. It's banger for banger. Sunday Morning, All Tomorrow's Parties, There She Goes Again, I'll Be Your Mirror, Femme Fatale, Heroin. Heroin is a banger. I don't encourage heroin, but the way he talks about it on that song made me want to do it. At 14, I got Sweet Trips, You Will Never Know Why. I talked about Milk very recently. I love that song. This album gets so soft at times, but it also gets very climactic. No Words to Be Found is also an amazing one that I like almost as much as Milk. You Are Eternally Complete is amazing. Air Supply too. I love the production on Air Supply. And I feel like both of their vocals just really complimented each other on this. I mean, I prefer the production on, Velocity Design Comfort, but this album is just banger after banger. At 13, I got Godspeed You, Black Emperors, Lift Your Skinny Fist Like Antennas to Heaven. It's only really at 13 and not in the top 10 because of like just the fact that it's 4 songs, 20 minutes each, that you're not really listening. I can only listen to this album like once every 3 months, to be honest. But I mean, at an hour and 20 minutes, I mean, you never come out the same mood that you went into this album with. There's always some new perspective, always some clarity that you get after listening to shit like this. And since so many of these songs offer, different things, I mean, you feel like you're listening to it for the first time every time you listen to this album. I think it's incredible, and I love the vocal samples on this from front to back. I think it's almost chilling at times. Coming in at 12, I got the Smiths self-titled. I've listened to this album a lot since I've done the review, man. It's my go-to Smiths album of choice. Ring Around the Fountain, Still Ill, This Charming Man. The guitar is crazy on here from front to back. I don't know, I do enjoy this one so much more than The Queen Is Dead, and I honestly don't know why. Maybe I need to return to The Queen Is Dead or something. I don't know. Coming in at 11, I got My Bloody Valentine's, Loveless. Besides Touched, this whole project, I mean, you're really going no misses here. All the songs in this album, they sound different, but they hit the same. Whenever I look at this album and I pick a song, it's like I get to choose which personality I want to be that day. The first 10 seconds of Only Shallow are like one of the most craziest ways I've ever heard an album kicked off in my life. Favorite songs in here gotta be Coming Alone, I Only Said, Blown a Wish, Soon. I was listening to Coming Alone so much when I first listened to this album. I get so much nostalgia. I mean, because it was my second review, so it was like, I don't know, maybe I'm biased towards a lot of the albums that I did when I first started this channel, because I like remember them so much, but I don't know. Something about this just gets me going. At number 10, I got Brian Eno's Another Green World. Just the whole concept behind this album is my favorite thing ever. I remember I wasn't gonna do this album, and then someone like commented, "Oh, this album like inspires creativity," and it certainly did that. You got a lot of ambient tracks on here. We also got a lot of tracks that have beautiful songwriting and vocals. And when you do research into like how this album was made, his mindset and the strategies that he used into making this album, it is pretty inspiring. At number 9, I got Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures. Rest in peace to Ian Curtis. We finna pour one out for you tonight. Also an album that I could not fucking turn off. I mean, the day started, Disorder. You know what I'm saying? Midday, New Dawn fades. Day's ending, She Lost Control. I mean, it's just on repeat the whole day. The melodies on every single song on here are different from the one that came before. I don't know. I can just imagine at the time. It must have been so fucking groundbreaking. At number 8, I got Dem Marcos' This Old Dog. Probably the most relatable album for any listener out there. Just talking about the topics of family, aging, dreams, and his father. You know, I feel like when you pick out songs from this album and you listen to them separately, you know, they don't really hit as hard, but when you listen to this album from start to finish, you really get it. You know, it really puts the puzzle together. I love this album. I got it on CD. It's true, I do. At number 7, I got kind of a recent one. You know, one that hasn't really even aged on me enough to be this high, but fuck it. I got Daft Punk's Discovery. It's like whenever I was going back to like make this list and I was trying to find flaws within this album, it's incredibly hard to. They don't miss on this at all. It's actually kind of insane. And I know I said in my review that I didn't really like Face to Face. I would like to rescind and take back that statement. All right, it was just deep into the album and I was just kind of tired. But going back to that song now, that shit does hit. Y'all are right. I was wrong. Favorite songs in here got to be Veritas Quo, Night Vision, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, One More Time, Aerodynamics. Everything. Coming in at 6, I got Aex Twin Selected Ambient Works Volume 1. Alright, not 2. Alright, I was thinking about 2, but I was like, you know what? I really don't be going back to all 20 something of these, so I was just like, I gotta do this one. This album is a little bit front loaded, you know what I'm saying? The best songs are definitely like the first 5. Aren't these just crazy, guys? I mean, I just want to be on drugs, like on some hard shit once listening to this. I just want to be on crack once. The bassline on Pulse Width is crazy. I is incredible. One of my favorite ambient songs by him. I wish it was at least another minute or 2 longer. And so many songs that I didn't like at all when I first listened to this. Going back to it now, I actually am pretty fond of, like, We Are the Music Makers, Delphium. Green Calx is still a crazy placement in this, but you know what? I like it. I wouldn't take it out. At number 5, I got Ween with Quebec. This was number 1 of my last ranking video, and I wouldn't really change that either. I love the ride that this album takes you in. It just goes in so many different directions, genre-wise. I mean, you really feel his pain throughout all the songs, even though he's just telling it differently. The bridge on Transdermal Celebration is one of the greatest things that I've ever heard. Even the songs that I wouldn't really like conventionally like Hey There Fancy Pants, Happy Colored Marbles, Zoloft, I feel like they all fit so well on this album, you know, with the songs that came before it. The guitar solo on I Don't Want It is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. It might be my favorite guitar solo of all time. I can't really think of one that comes to mind that I like more. At number 4, I got the first review I did in this channel, Geogotti. Probably the most interesting album I've ever listened to, the most interested I've ever been in an album. I went on a fucking rabbit hole after I listened to this shit. This album scares me, it terrifies me. I danced to this album. I mean, you could do anything with this album. It's like a spork. You know, you can't really listen to it like when you go to sleep, you know. I mean there's a lot of songs in here that are downright scary that I just skip when they come on. I want to shout out the bonus track from One Source, All Things Depend. One of their most beautiful songs. You know, it's not on streaming services, but it is on YouTube. I think it's on the Japanese vinyl version. I don't know. It's actually pretty hard for me to name my favorite songs in here because there's probably like 10 of them. It's just gonna be me going through the whole track list. You know, towards the end, I start to get, you know, you could feel the sky. The devil's in the details. They downright fucking scare me. But I'm low-key scaring myself now. I'm at a point where I'm starting to like a lot of the sounds that I didn't like when I listen to this. I mean, like, a lot of them. I'm so interested in this album. I'm so interested in the equipment that this band used and the samples. The samples, do I want to know where all the samples are from? I don't know if I do. At number 3, I got Burial's Untrue. This is a perfect record. You know, like, if someone went up to me and was like, oh, what's a perfect album? This one. The way he uses pitch correction on all these songs. I know I mentioned it in my songs video, or Archangel, how much I love Archangel. But it's every song on here. It's all the samples on here. He makes every sample sound like, you know, they weren't even from that fucking song. I don't know how he does it. And I'm pretty sure he didn't even use like a regular DAW. He used like something that like didn't even have time signatures. You know, so that's why the drums on here sound so insane. I love the ambient songs on here as well. Like UK, In McDonald's, Dog Shelter. Alright, the second half of Shell of Light. That The vocals on the second half of Shell of Light, man. Oh my god. At number 2, I got Jeff Buckley's Grace. The second Mojo Pin started, I knew I was up. I knew I was done. Probably one of the best first listens I've ever experienced. You know, sitting down and listening to Hallelujah at full length. You know, Lilac Wine was... I had Lilac Wine on repeat for weeks later. So Real is incredible. I feel like a lot of his fans are kind of on TikTok now, but you know what? It's fine. I think the only thing keeping me from putting this at number 1 is I don't really be going back to Dream Brother or Eternal Life too much. And I actually do love Forget Her a lot. But, like, when y'all commented, like, oh, yo, Jeff didn't want that on the album, like... You know, he wouldn't have wanted that. I was like, damn. So I'm taking 1 point off for that, you know, because fuck the label, all right? Finally, at number 1, I got Slow Dive's Souvlaki. If you go and watch my reaction to this, it's not anything crazy. Like, I'm not really freaking the fuck out. It wasn't until after I went back to this album, you know, and I listened to Allison again, I listened to Sing, and I listened to 40 Days, When the Sun Hits, Souvlaki, Space Station, All Together. All Together was my favorite song for a minute. Dagger is an insane way to close this off. If I had to pick a least favorite, maybe Melon Yellow. Maybe, I don't know. My favorite track on here at the moment, I gotta say, is 40 Days. That's the one I picked for my song ranking video. But yeah, 10 songs, 40 minutes, it's perfect. That's the video. Thank you for a great year. You know what I'm saying? It's not 2024 yet, but any review after this is going to count towards the next year's list, all right? I know I said that exact comment after my song ranking video, and I did do 4 reviews after that, but I feel like those ones didn't really get a fair shot at this list because they barely had time to grow on me. If you're new, feel free to like and subscribe. I love and appreciate all you guys. Thank you once again for 10K. Y'all are incredible. Hopefully next year we can have, I don't know, 2 million, 3 million. I'd say that's realistic. All right. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you maybe agree with some of my picks. And if you don't, it's all good.